Hey there, welcome to the XRP Headline channel. Let me tell you, this is a textbook example of why panic selling is not the move, my friends. XRP is soaring, up over 15% in the last 24 hours, currently sitting around $2.08. Tired of fake gurus who claim to be expert traders but never trade live? I trade live on the second largest crypto exchange, where everything is transparent and results can't be faked. For over 440 days, I've consistently closed every month in profit. In the last 90 days alone, my followers have earned over $34,000 in profits with only 4% drawdown. Verified results, not empty claims. Want to see my verified stats? Click the first link in my profile and start copying my trades for free today. What's driving this surge? Well, it all ties back to, you guessed it, more tariff news. Maybe you're overhearing about tariffs, or maybe you're still glued to every update, but like it or not, that's the catalyst behind today's action. I'll break it all down for you and dive into some XRP specifics, including how we could rocket way higher, potentially reclaiming previous levels. That, of course, would pave the way for price discovery and the kind of insane face-melting moves we've been waiting on for over 7 years. Yes, 7 years. But trust me, I still believe it's on the horizon. Sure, the macro landscape has thrown a curveball, tariffs and all, but let's not forget, this can't last forever. The signs are clear. This chapter is coming to a close. It's just a matter of patience. Markets hate uncertainty, and once we get clarity, we'll see things stabilize and shift back to normal. It's only a matter of time. Before we go any deeper though, let me make one thing clear. I'm not a financial expert, and this is not financial advice. Please, don't make any buying or selling decisions based on what I say or write. I'm just a crypto enthusiast who loves making YouTube videos for fun. So sit back, relax, and let's keep it light while we explore what's ahead for XRP. As I sit down to record this video, it's 4:35 p.m. Central Time, my time zone, on Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. And guess what? XRP is stealing the show. It's the top performing coin among the top 10 by market cap. Love to see it, but it doesn't stop there. Scrolling through the top 50 coins on Livecoin, it's nothing but green everywhere. An absolute market-wide pump. Even the S&P 500 is up nearly 10% today. What a time to be alive. Now let's rewind to just 2 days ago when this whole rally began. Remember the buzz on Monday? Rumors were flying about a possible 90-day tariff pause. Here's a headline from Yahoo Finance. White House shoots down. Rumors of 90-day tariff pause as Trump allies brush off recession fears. Of course, something leaked. Someone, somewhere, likely with inside knowledge, let slip that a 90-day tariff pause was on the table. And, oh, it did happen. More on that in just a moment. But first, we've got fresh news from this morning. Check out this headline from CNBC, shared bright and early at 6:35 a.m. on X. China slaps retaliatory tariffs of 84% on US goods in response to Trump. Yeah, China's playing hardball, but it's clearly not working out too great for them. Trump isn't backing down, he's doubling down. Fox Business ran this headline. Trump says he's raising China tariffs. Further, pausing reciprocal tariffs for others. So, yes folks, 2 days ago, the word pause caused ripples. Then, the Trump administration swooped in to clear the air. No pauses, no hesitation. It's full steam ahead. Big news today, a 90-day pause on certain tariffs has been announced. While it seems to apply only to select countries, the markets are loving it. But for China, not so much. Definitely not great for China. Here's the kicker. President Donald J. Trump dropped the announcement in a post at 12:18 p.m. Central Time, just over 4 hours ago. This single post sent ripples through the market, boosting net worths left and right. And yes, it's pure Trump style. A massive run-on sentence that might set a world record. Let me read it for you, exactly as he wrote it. It's a little wild. He starts by saying, based on the lack of respect that China has shown the world's markets, I am hereby raising the tariff charged to China by the United States of America to 125% effective immediately. Boom. Massive. He goes on to say that China needs to wake up and realize the days of ripping off the USA and other countries are over. But wait, there's more. In the same breath, he pivots, citing calls from over 75 countries to US officials to resolve trade issues like tariffs and currency manipulation. Trump says these nations have refrained from retaliating, so he's authorized a 90-day pause along with a reciprocal tariff reduced to 10%, starting immediately. And he signs off with a polite, "Thank you for your attention to this matter." So there you have it. That's the post that sent your net worth soaring today. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. there's still uncertainty looming. Markets hate that. They despise it. Yet this move feels like a huge leap forward. Market speculators were genuinely worried that Trump would push forward with all the tariffs exactly as publicly outlined, triggering a cascade of problems. Picture this: supply chains in chaos, costs skyrocketing, and businesses scrambling to adapt. It's one thing to watch the market dip. It's another to see the ripple effects play out in real life. Global businesses would face major disruptions, and consumers would feel the sting as prices soared. That was the real fear: economic turmoil with no escape hatch. But then the tide shifted, disaster averted, people started connecting the dots. This wasn't Trump going off the rails, it was a calculated move, a negotiation tactic. Suddenly the panic eased, and money flowed back into the market, confidence restored. Honestly, I had a hunch this was all strategic. It just made sense. Implementing those tariffs as planned would have been catastrophic. Beyond the economic fallout, it would have been political suicide, ensuring a Democratic sweep in the midterms and likely a Democratic president after Trump's term. When people are hit where it hurts most, their wallets, they vote accordingly. So no, I didn't believe Trump was reckless enough to follow through, but leaders worldwide couldn't afford to take that gamble. They had to act as if he might, which is exactly why the tactic worked. Here's where things get really interesting. Brace yourself because this is hilarious. You're going to love it. Earlier today, Donald Trump posted this on Truth Social, hours before the events I'm about to share with you. The time, 8:37 a.m. Central. Short and sweet, the post simply said, "This is a great time to buy." Classic DJT move. A little cryptic, a little bold. But here's the kicker. Hours later, he did something that could skyrocket your portfolio. If he bought in, he basically pumped your bags. Absolutely wild, right? It's like he was giving you a nudge, a little wink wink, as if to say, trust me on this one. And just like that, boom, market through the roof. I can't help but laugh at moments like these. It's such a wild ride. Honestly, you never know how these dominoes are going to fall. But fast forward a few years, and the market just keeps climbing. That's why I love sticking to my simple investment strategy: buy and hold. Whether it's stocks or crypto, once I buy, I do nothing. Yep, nothing. And it works. Time does the heavy lifting, and number go up. It's that simple. Now check this out. This adds another layer to the story. Last night, before any of this unfolded, Raoul Pal, former Goldman Sachs executive and CEO of Global Macro Investor and Real Vision, also an XRP enthusiast, dropped a post that ties right into everything. It's also fascinating to watch. He shared this insight with his 1.1 million followers, and so far it's aging like fine wine. He compared the current market vibe to December 2018, for those who remember. Powell hinted at a pivot back then, and now, history might just repeat itself. I think we'll see a similar setup, plus a trade resolution with China, he said. His view: stocks have a max downside of 10%, but the upside could hit 15% in 2 weeks, 25% in 1 to 2 months, and far more within 6 months. Bold, right? As for China, well, let's see if cooler heads prevail. If the world sides with the US over China, things will get messy, but ultimately the US might come out ahead. At least that's his speculation. But stepping away from geopolitics, his prediction about short-term market momentum is holding strong. He remains optimistic. And this was all before today's news. He's still confident, doubling down on his projections for 2 weeks, a month, and 6 months ahead. Then there's Julian Biddle's take. Julian, who works with Raoul Pal and leads macro research at Global Macro Investor, brought some data to the table. His post included a chart showing the NASDAQ 100, black line, and the percentage of stocks trading below a 14-day RSI of 30, pink line, indicating oversold conditions. Julian captioned it, "Some context for everyone. Funny timing. It was 12:14 p.m., just 4 minutes before Trump dropped a bombshell on Truth Social that sent net worth soaring. Tech stocks are now the most oversold since the COVID crash, and only 7 other times since 1988 have we seen over 55% of NASDAQ 100 stocks hit a 14-day relative strength index below 30. The data speaks for itself. The analyst pointed out key moments when this happened, like during COVID, but you don't need the full list to see the pattern. Here's the thing, when capitulation hits, you rarely recognize it for what it is in the moment. But later, when the dust settles, you look back and realize it was a golden buying opportunity. Think about the great financial crisis of 2008 to 2009. People were terrified, convinced they'd never retire. Yet that crash set the stage for one of the most explosive recoveries of the decade. The market came roaring back, defying the doomsday predictions. Fear right now? It's natural. but it's also misplaced. Markets have faced countless end-of-the-world moments, and every time, they find a way to recover. Yes, something else will come along years from now to spook investors all over again. It's going to happen again. I don't know when or how, but it will. And here's the thing, it doesn't really matter. Let me share a post from Charlie Bolello, the chief market strategist at Creative Planning. He recently shared this with his 643,000 followers on X, and it's something worth paying attention to. Charlie pointed out that the S&P 500 was up 9.5% today, a massive jump, marking the third largest single-day gain since 1950. This was posted around 3:50 p.m., just under an hour ago. Now here's the kicker. Charlie asked a simple but powerful question. What typically happens after the biggest one-day gains? The answer? Stocks tend to rise substantially over the next 1, 3, and 5 years. Every single time. The takeaway? Staying the course often benefits most people far more than trying to outsmart the market. Timing the market is a losing game. You think you're a genius, but more often than not, you miss the boat. Think about it. Some people sold, expecting prices to drop further, but instead, boom, markets soared, and they missed out entirely. It happens to a ton of people. You know it. I know it. Now don't misunderstand me. This isn't a guarantee the bottom is in. I'm not claiming to know where the market's headed tomorrow or next week. What I am saying is that trying to guess is risky. It's like playing with fire. And me? I'm not touching that fire. I know I don't have all the answers, and that's exactly why I do nothing. Funny enough, that's how you win, by holding steady. The market might dip lower still. Some analysts believe that's a real possibility despite today's good news and the positive market reaction. But honestly, my attitude is, hey, whatever. Markets move how they move. Now, let's dive into something interesting from chart analyst Tech Dev. Don't worry, XRP fans, we'll get to the juicy stuff soon. Hang tight. Gotta lay it out in order. So here's the deal. Tech Dev shared this with his 518,000 followers on Next, and it's pure gold. Cycles over news, data over emotion, history over this time is different. That's my vibe exactly. This is how I approach markets. No fluff, just the facts. What he's pointing out here is the global business cycle. Take a look. It lines up beautifully with Bitcoin's price action over each cycle. This chart isn't focused on liquidity, though we've covered that in recent days on my channel. Liquidity drives markets, including Bitcoin, and right now, liquidity is trending up. So when Bitcoin follows, as it always does, don't act shocked. And here's the kicker. Bitcoin sets the pace for the entire crypto market. When it moves, XRP and the rest of the market will follow. When that happens, brace yourself. That long-awaited, face-melting XRP rally we've been dreaming about for over 7 years, it's coming. Don't be surprised when it finally explodes. Here's a post from the blockchain backer, shared just under an hour after the Trump news broke. He mentioned how the positive reaction was good to see, along with some relief that the administration isn't going full nuclear and is open to adjustments. However, he added a word of caution. Things could still get choppy. It's behaving as expected right now, but volatility hasn't left the building just yet. So, who really knows? Even if the bottom isn't here yet, he emphasized his belief that better days are ahead. No matter how long it takes, the tariff issues will eventually be history. Markets will stabilize, global liquidity is increasing, and that money will flow into risk-on assets like XRP. That's what history suggests. And if history repeats, then the answer seems pretty clear. Here's another post, this one from Dark Defender, shared earlier today at 4:40 a.m., before Trump's latest social media post sent our net worth soaring. By the way, is it still called tweeting if it's not Twitter? I know it's truthing now, but here's a thought. What if you post a truth that's actually a lie? Does that make it a truth lie or a lie truth? I'm genuinely curious. Maybe they've already sorted that out, but if not, feel free to let me know your take in the comments. So Dark Defender was ahead of the curve on this one. Before all the chaos unfolded, he called it XRP on the 4-hour and daily charts was oversold. Wave C already in place. Considering the monthly fifth wave and bullish signs on the weekly chart, we're primed for a move above $2. He predicted it before the news broke, believing the market was ready to bottom out regardless. Even if XRP had dipped a bit lower, the bounce was inevitable, and he's not alone. Check out this post from chart analyst Polly last night at 9:57 p.m. XRP holders know what's about to happen. Reset and reversal. Polly was confident that XRP was about to rip upward with or without external catalysts. But here we are, and the news became the spark to light the fire. This matters. No doubt about it. XRP and the entire crypto market are feeling the impact. Now take chart analyst Crypto Michael's post from just a few hours ago at 2:32 p.m. Central. XRP held the support line, Most so-called crypto experts told you to sell XRP yesterday. They're about to eat their words when this pumps. Bold words, but honestly, I agree. The face-melting price action is just around the corner. The timing? Who knows? But it's coming. And even if I'm wrong, that's the beauty of it. I don't have to do anything. I'll keep holding. Even if we hit a bear market, I can wait. A few years out, XRP will still explode upwards, and I'll still win. This isn't a gamble. XRP is an early leader in crypto, and it couldn't be clearer. The writing's on the wall. Here's a post from chart analyst Greg Crypto, and this is at 3:14 p.m. Central, so close to 3 hours after the great news broke today. XRP, the global liquidity indicator, was telling us that the next 110 days is bullish. Choppy in the meantime, but it will be bullish for a blow-off top, and then the music will stop. The next run, make sure to take some profits. Learn your lesson. Well, I'll be taking profits this cycle unless something unexpected happens and we actually enter a bear market before we have the opportunity. But if the price range I've been talking about hits, yeah, I'm gonna be selling. Absolutely massively selling. Finally, after all these years. And that's what we're here for, right? To finally get to the point where we hit the targets that are appealing to us. And so, I'm hoping I hit mine and I hope you hit yours as well. This cycle, that would be ideal. But yeah, as far as global liquidity, obviously, as global liquidity increases, yeah, I keep insisting this, and so he knows it. As global liquidity increases, people have more money, businesses have more money. It gets allocated to certain things. Part of the allocation will be into stocks, risk on assets, and also into crypto. And now there's a lag time. So the money gets out there, and people have to decide what they're doing with it. But yes, the answer is yes. And we're just behind the actual liquidity increase that has been occurring. Picture this, everything starts aligning perfectly, the tariff situation wrapping up, even if it takes weeks or months to fully resolve. It's all starting to fall into place in a pretty exciting way. Now check this out. A post from chart analyst Dom caught my attention. He's been watching some wild activity on Coinbase's spot order book for XRP, and it's next level intriguing. Here's what he noted. The pure imbalance in the order books is insane. Buy walls stacked below, while it's practically a ghost town above. Translation? Americans are bullish on XRP. Why? Because Coinbase is their go-to exchange for loading up. This kind of imbalance is off the charts, unprecedented even. Dom says he's never seen anything like it. XRP, like the rest of the market, got caught in the global sell-off winds. But here's where things get fascinating. In the past 24 hours, Coinbase flashed the largest bid skew ever recorded within 50% of price. 33 million XRP more wanting to be bought than sold. Imagine that, a Harman Charmatic Milio XRP demand gap. If just $100 million in buy pressure comes through, it could rocket XRP back to $2.50. Sounds wild, right? But it's not impossible. For now, the immediate target is holding the $2 mark. Fingers crossed we stick the landing. But honestly, it wouldn't take much to see massive price swings upward instead of down. It's just a waiting game at this point. Buckle up, friends. And remember, this isn't financial advice. Don't make moves just because I said something. That would be a very, very bad idea. Stay sharp out there.